Ladies and gentlemen, this wedding bombshell is going to change the course of hip-hop history. What if we told you the legendary love story you thought was real? In actuality, Papoose and Remy Ma's ride-or-die fairy tale which survived prison bids and reality TV was built on a massive lie. Because according to many recently acquired photos, receipts, and an unidentified Vegas chapel staffer, Papoose may have legally married Claressa Shields during Remy Ma's incarceration. You heard right? Under false names, non-disclosure agreements, and one marriage license that seems to be missing. It is a complete, until death do us part arrangement that has supposedly been hidden for more than a decade. Now, the photos have been leaked. Rose petals, a white dress, a matching tux. And a man who looks like Mr. Loyalty himself in a Yankees suit saying, "I do," but not to Remy. Is this the worst treachery in hip-hop marriage history? Or is the story more complicated than Remy knew? Hold on tight, because we're about to disclose the unexpected woman and the industry-shaking covert wedding. Ladies and gentlemen, you must reevaluate your allegiance presumptions, because we're going to expose more than just a betrayal. Hip-hop's most renowned love story has undergone a full transformation. For 4 years, Papoose and Remy Ma were acknowledged as the model all over the world. He waited as she completed her sentence. She publicly praised him as the ultimate ride-or-die. Magazines covered them. Reality television idealized them. However, it was taken as gospel by fans. But while Remy was behind bars serving her sentence, at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, something was happening in the background. Not even her closest friends, her fans, or the industry anticipated it. Come on, Claressa Shields. We've all heard of the two-time Olympian, Claressa, the self-proclaimed greatest woman in history, a gold medalist, and one of the boldest voices in sports. Most people were not aware that she was playing a totally different kind of match in 2010, and her tag team partner, Papoose himself. At the time, the two were spotted collaborating casually. Charity functions, training camps, and sporadic appearances. Nothing too strange, just love for the community, or so we thought. But what if we told you that Remy was confined to a jail, counting down the days until she could see her partner again, while Papoose and Claressa were planning a secret wedding in Las Vegas? That's what's being said right now. Papoose and Claressa appear to be standing at the altar in a busy Vegas chapel with a minister, a bouquet, and what looks to be a rented Rolls-Royce in the background in a recently acquired set of grainy, time-stamped wedding photos. Online, the pictures have gone viral. One blurry, yet informative photo shows the groom wearing a Yankees cap and smiling, obviously. The white-dressed bride was holding a bouquet of boxing gloves. If it's not them, it's an odd coincidence. The loyalty story that we have all been following for over a decade, however, just fell apart in real time, if it is. Let's take a look back. How did we get here? Remy Ma was sentenced to 8 years in prison for assault in 2008. Papoose immediately went public, pledging to help her and even attempting to get married to her while she was incarcerated. But after he was allegedly seen trying to enter the prison using a handcuff key, the event was notoriously called off. Yes, that did happen. But this is where the story becomes more nuanced, according to documents recently uncovered by a whistleblower. Website Papoose visited Nevada multiple times between 2010 and 2011 under his true legal name, Shamal Maki. We'll call her at the tea is boiling. During one of these visits, he apparently stayed at a boutique hotel that was just 5 minutes from the infamous A Little White Chapel. It is the same chapel that appears in the leaked wedding photographs. A woman named C, who matches Claressa Shields' description, is even more suspect. On the same day, Brown reportedly made an appointment for hair and makeup at a nearby salon. The June 4, 2011 leaked receipt, which also contained a note, was paid for with cash. Lovely wedding, no photos please. Could be a coincidence? You tell us. But it doesn't end there. A private message from Clarissa's since-deleted Facebook profile reads, "What happens in Vegas changes everything. 2 weeks after that day." It may seem innocuous, but now that we know better, it feels like a digital breadcrumb, especially when combined with another now public image of Claressa in a training video from June 15, 2011. Wearing what appears to be a wedding band. Fans brushed it off as a fashion ring at the time, but now they're ogling it like it's from the Zapruder movie. And during all of this alleged activity, where was Remy Ma? Waiting for the man who swore to be truthful while the system kept them apart, sitting in prison by herself creating rhymes. To be clear, with their known names, there isn't a marriage certificate on file. According to one source, a handwritten ledger bearing the name S was even found. Mackie and C on a page that read private file, no press, Brown signed. Is that them? While the world hailed Papoose as the most devoted man in hip-hop, was it possible that he had actually wed Claressa? Does Remy Ma matter more? One of Remy's former romantic partners and hip-hop co-stars who wished to remain nameless, claimed that she constantly felt tense surrounding Now Everything Makes Sense. The friendship between Papoose and Claressa did not stop in 2011. As evidenced by their appearances together at events, interviews, and even the controversial 2022 boxing fundraiser where they got too close at the after-party. At the time, fans referred to it as innocuous, but in retrospect, they believe it was most likely Mr. and Mrs. Vegas's reunion. Still not persuaded? Next, describe why Remy Ma has never appeared in a picture with, as of right now, aliases match. Travel and booking records, wedding images have been leaked. And a handwritten chapel ledger contains the letter S. When Papoose clapped from the second row during Claressa's Bet Sportswoman of the Year victory, Remy apparently departed the arena early. This wasn't just a coincidence, though. It was smoke. Here at Gossip Spill Vibe, we claim that whenever there is smoke, there is typically a tumultuous, covert wedding in Vegas. Mackie and C don't go anywhere because everything gets worse after. The wedding because if this marriage was real, someone had to pay to make it go away. Brown was in the right place at the right time, and the so-called queen of loyalty might have been the last to realize that she was acting as a second wife the entire time. When your Vegas underground wedding from over a decade ago resurfaces, and the lady you married then happens to be your current wife's opponent, what do? Apparently, you don't say anything if you're a Papoose. With no tweets, freestyles, or public appearances since the scandalous boxing gloves in the bouquet moment and the fitting cap for the groom at the altar. Papoose has vanished entirely. For a man who usually raps about loyalty whenever he blinks, this stillness is deafening. But don't worry, the internet has filled the gap. Let's begin by discussing the leaks. More receipts have mysteriously started to show up after those pictures from Vegas, as though the data were in a scandal folder, just waiting to be accessed. According to a new leak by the notorious site Shade Surgical, it shows a ripped portion of A rather than the full document. According to the blog, it spoke with a retired wedding photographer who attested to the fact that a New York rapper couple gave him $2,000 in cash for a photo session that was free of inquiries and did not require digital backups. He said the groom had a New York accent, was medium in height, and wore a black hoodie. He was adamant about avoiding social media, which, let's face it, could be used to characterize half of the industry. The address was 16,001 Las Vegas Boulevard, the precise address of a tiny white chapel, but the witness's signature was dubious, and the clerk's name was obscured. Meanwhile, according to a different leak, this one from an unnamed former assistant, Papoose and Claressa had a joint bank account that was open for a short time in the summer of 2011 and canceled a few months after it was discovered during a regular IRS audit. One of the transfers was identified as CR wedding costs, and the whistleblower attributed this to odd transaction history. Take a moment to process that. The plot only becomes more complex. "I never meant for it to get that far," says a voice that sounds eerily like Papoose in a supposedly burner phone audio that is currently circulating on forums and gossip pages. "I just thought I should give her something for holding me accountable. I would never know, no matter what." Now, could it be a I? Very fake indeed. But the time is just too perfect. And let's be honest, a court of public opinion does not require evidence. There must be drama. Furthermore, Papoose has been silent for days while Claressa Shields has been quietly criticizing her. The boxing champion posted an enigmatic selfie 2 nights ago. No caption, full glam, location tag, Sin City. Supporters lost their minds. There was no denial, no fake news, and not even a y'all wild. Just quiet confidence. As if she knew the truth was finally out and didn't mind seeing it burn. Hours later, she shared a slow-motion video of herself training with gloves, hitting the bag, and the words, "Some punches land harder than others." Remy fans were screaming for answers in the comments section, but Claressa coolly liked a few. Questionable responses, like "Been yours since 2011, sis. Worse." This detail went unnoticed the first time. One of the leaked photos displayed the bride's on the left arm. There is a tattoo of a boxing ring with the number 2 inside that is slightly obscured by lace, but still visible. Claressa is known as T-Rex 2.0, as you are undoubtedly aware. And she has claimed in multiple interviews that she was given that specific design after winning her 2nd gold medal. But here's the catch. Her receiving the 2nd gold in 2016 raises the possibility that the tattoo was applied later, or that the photos are more recent than previously believed. This secret wedding in Vegas may have happened much more recently than in 2011, if that is the case. When Remy and Pap were married, it was real-time infidelity rather than heartbreak while incarcerated. Jasmine Dior is here. Yes, Jasmine, the daughter of the individual Ray, is accused of shooting. A full-time, unaccountable media troll has replaced the courtroom firestarter. Jasmine went live only yesterday, which fueled the flames. The fact is that Remy isn't the first and is by no means the only one, which is why you're unhappy with Claressa. Pap has been playing house with gloves ever since some of you got iPhones. Look who drove Claressa to the win. It wasn't her coach, she continued, implying more shocking revelations. Check the fight night footage from 2022. Internet. Investigators looked into it right away, and sure enough, supporters recorded blurry footage. Shows the black SUV that deposited Claressa off at the MGM Grand being driven by Papoose. Is this a confirmation or just a coincidence? Remy Ma's team, however, has fallen into utter silence. Fans are not buying into her PR team's one-line statement that she is concentrating on her future projects and won't be answering unfounded allegations. Twitter's timeline has become a battlefield of memes, conspiracy theories, and altered wedding invitations that read, "Mr. Yes," while wifey was doing time. Mrs. Gloves. The hashtag Remy was second has actually been trending for 48 hours in a row. This is where things start to get really crazy. An anonymous divorce lawyer allegedly from New Jersey said in a private legal forum that Papoose had recently asked about canceling a dormant Nevada marriage license. They did not name the other party, but they did say that the client was concerned about overlapping legal status, which meant that he was still legally married to Claressa while publicly married to Remy. Ladies and gentlemen, if that's the case, it's not just betrayal, it's bigamy, a crime, a felony. The kind of legal mess that causes prenuptial agreements to combust and Instagram bios to change overnight. In case you were wondering, yes, fans have already checked. If you thought it was just a celebrity drama, think again. What started as whispers in back alleys and grainy wedding leaks has now escalated into full-blown legal warfare, brand boycott, and one last twist that no one, not even Remy, saw coming. That's her bio for now, but let's say she may soon be editing more than just her caption. The internet is still working to unravel the scandal of Papoose's alleged secret Vegas marriage to Claressa Shields. And the pieces are starting to fall. Not just for him. Let's start with a legal conflagration. Remy Ma's legal team is preparing to file a petition in New York Superior Court to clarify Papoose's marital status. The goal is to determine whether the alleged Vegas marriage to Claressa was ever legally dissolved. If it wasn't, the 2016 marriage between Remy and Papoose might be declared void, not valid. That's right. The union that fans have been celebrating for nearly a decade could be declared void due to bigamy, a crime that carries a maximum 4-year prison sentence. She's livid, not just because he cheated, but because he played with her. Name her legacy, according to an anonymous source from Remy's inner circle who spoke to the Vibe report. If it is determined that Papoose purposefully kept this information from her during his legal marriage to Remy, she may be able to pursue civil penalties such as financial damages and asset redistribution. And in some jurisdictions, he may even face criminal charges. After elevating him, this man now makes her seem like a backup plan. She is not alone, though, in wanting to move on from the fallout, as 2 of Ree's business agreements have dissolved in the days following the revelation. Claressa Shields was subpoenaed just last week to testify in a different civil matter concerning Papoose's alleged false representation of her marital status in a business transaction. Remy and Pap Rebuilding the Empire, a spin-off reality show, has been put on indefinite pause. Industry insiders say that sponsors are shaken behind the scenes. Not because of Remy's actions, but because they don't know how much more will be revealed soon. The chaos in the courtroom is far from over. At 2021, the public's response is exploding. And Remy Ma's comment sections have turned into virtual battlegrounds as trolls, who are often assumed to be Claressa's supporters, bombard her posts with broken heart emojis and comments like "should have known Pap was the champ's prize." Pap allegedly filed as unmarried under the terms of the joint endorsement contract, which, if found to be false, might now be contractual fraud. In addition to destroying reputations, this drama has the potential to void previous agreements, cost millions, and attract IRS attention if financial documents connected to that covert marriage are found. Papoose's own cousin startled everyone by posting a now viral thread in which she said, "I'm not talking about family business, but let's just say some of us have heard about that Vegas trip. It's not just fans, it was more than a vacation. Those were vows." 2 hours later, the post was taken down. The cousin had 20,000 verified followers on Twitter. Screenshots, however, never go away. The final twist then emerged. This was the moment when the scandal evolved from a betrayal to a whole betrayal movie universe. Late on Wednesday night, a new leaked photo surfaced, neither from Claressa nor from Vegas, Instagram, but from a woman named Claressa Shields' private Facebook account, Claressa's cousin, allegedly. The photo is from a toddler birthday celebration in 2014, and in the corner of it, Papoose is seen smiling while holding a young boy. Here's the shocking part, though. The child was seen wearing a t-shirt that read, "My daddy's a champ," and the cake was decorated with the name CJ. Does Papoose have a secret child with Claressa Shields? Did Remy ever find out, if at all? To be clear, there is no documentation, no paternity test, and no proof of parentage. But Claressa hasn't rejected the photo. In fact, she responded to a question from a Twitter follower by saying, "Mind yours." And there it is. According to leaked wedding photos from a Vegas chapel, it is confirmed that Papoose and Claressa were married in 2011 or possibly later, and aliases. Tattoos and receipts fit the chronology of a secret marriage. Claressa is seen smiling while showing off her strength and sending cryptic signals. Papoose was silent, and Remy is upset and humiliated and reportedly speaking with divorce lawyers at the moment. Additionally, there may be a child involved. Ladies and gentlemen, is more than just a scandal. It's a breakdown of legacy. For years, Papoose was hailed as hip-hop's ideal husband, the gold standard and the loyal monarch who waited, helped, and never left. However, he may now be remembered as something else. The question now is, was the loyalty ever genuine, or have Remy Ma and the rest of us been given a nicely constructed lie? One fake red carpet, one TV interview, and one love song at a time. Because the facts, the chapel ledger, the pilfered Vegas photos, the toddler in the champ shirt paint, even the most ardent Remy fan cannot ignore this picture, where she may not have been restrained by Papoose, and he may have been holding someone else's hand at the altar. What about Claressa? Did she ever act like a homie? Or has she been wearing that invisible ring ever since Remy turned herself in? How many of their neighbors knew? Please leave your comments below. Do you believe the Vegas marriage was real? Is the child in the leaked birthday photo Papoose's? Does Remy have to forgive him? It's more than just celebrity rumors. So start a comment war. We are witnessing the unraveling of history. If you think was explosive, wait until we show you what happened after that courtroom reunion with Jasmine Dior. The like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. If this story is just the beginning, what other mysteries lie under the Mackey family's vault? Let's work together to solve this. Give up your most illogical theories. Add your friends.